Hi, welcome to Just Common Sense. My name's Brian Harrison. So, we're going to bring up a serious problem tonight. What's going on? Joe Biden is a serious problem. Look, the radical left up there, his administration's the serious problem right now. What's going on? First of all, I want to talk about Joe Biden. We're going to talk about a few of them. First of all, Joe Biden, you have no right to force vaccines on people. It is not your choice. You're not God. You do not own the people in this country. You are an employee of the people in this country, and that's all you are. Nothing more. You're a public servant. So don't get your ego so big out there, Joe, because nobody's going to tolerate this anymore. We are upset. We're tired of it. First of all, my name's Brian Harrison. I am running for Senate. Again, my name's Brian Harrison, and I am running for Senate. And I'm saying this because everybody's frustrated right now. I'm just an average person, and all I want to do is just work for the people in this country. Look, I believe that there should be term limits. I do, 100%. I think the people should have the right to vote on this term limits, not on career politicians. We've had too many of them in office. They're destroying this country. What's going on out there right now with what we're seeing right now? First of all, Joe, you're breaking the Constitution of the United States. You're ignoring it completely. You're also breaking the law. I'm going to say that. So that's exactly what's going on here. First of all, Nancy Pelosi, you're another one. You're out there egging them on, saying, oh, we're going to go under OSHA and do this. Well, guess what? It's not your choice to do. Let me tell you something. This is based on my body, my choice. Yes, I know you've heard that before. Where'd we hear that from, guys? Oh, yeah, there's a difference. That is involving somebody who has a child in them. I know where you're going. That's why I said that. I don't believe in abortion. I'm not for it. Circumstances, I will say, something that's threatening them, other things. I know not everybody's going to agree with me out there on that part, but there are circumstances out there. But that's another story we'll talk about later. First of all, I want to go ahead and break this down. You, again, do not have the right to belittle the people in this country like you did last night. And again, you belittled the people in this country. Guess what? You said you're tired of it. Guess what? We're tired of you. And I'm going to call out some people tonight because I want to really break this down. First of all, I do support you people I'm getting ready to call out. I want you to hear this, and I'm going to post this on your Twitter account. First of all, I want to call out Jim Jordan, Ted Cruz, Tom Cotton, Marco Rubio, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Ron Paul. I want to call you guys out first because I think you're doing a good job. I think your heart's into it, but we're not seeing a lot of action. We hear the talk, but we're not seeing a lot of action. You know what we want to do? Talk is cheap. Action means a lot. So please get out there and do this, because if you're out there doing a lawsuit, how long does a lawsuit really take? How long does it take? It takes a long time. Look, you need to talk to the people on the other side of the aisle, not the radical ones. We know they're too bent out of shape and warped in the head and everything else. They're not going to go anywhere. You need to talk to people on the other side of the aisle and say, look, this is uncalled for. We're Americans. We need to stand together on this. We are Americans. We're people, and that's all we are. We work for the people of this country. So I also want to call out some people that I consider to be weak Republicans, very weak Republicans. I think they're in there just for a paycheck, and that's all they're in there for. They just want their name out there, and that's it. Look, Lindsey Graham, you're one. Tom Tillis, you are one for sure. And there's a couple others. I mean, we're talking Cheney. We're talking a lot of you guys out there right now, but I'm not going to get into reading all the names. But again, focus on being American people. People like Jim Jordan, Tom Cruise, listen to me, Ted Cruz, Tom Cotton, all you guys that I mentioned earlier in this, please go to these people that we're talking about, like Lindsey Graham, Tom Tillis, and a variety of them. Please go to them. Speak with them and say, we need to do the right thing. We need to stand up as Americans because there is a constitution. There is a right and a freedom of the people in this country. And I'm telling you guys, it's not going to go away. First of all, this last night, I believe a big part of what Joe's bringing up right now is to get everybody's attention off Afghanistan and what went on over there. It's not going away, Joe. Nobody's forgetting you left people behind in Afghanistan. Americans were left behind. People got killed. 13 people got killed in the military over there. It's sad that it happened. Very sad. But Nancy Pelosi couldn't even read their names in the House. That's a disgrace. A disgrace what you did by not doing that. So, personally, I think we should get this guy impeached, but the problem is the House won't impeach him because they're not for the American people. They're for staying in power. That's all they're for. So it's not a thing that needs to go on here. We need to do the right thing. So I'm asking you guys, you congressmen and women, to do the right thing. The American people are asking you to do the right thing. If I were there, trust me, I would do the right thing. Give you an example. I'm going to tell you guys this because some of you, let me tell you something. People like Nancy Pelosi and all these guys we're talking about, especially on the radical left, a lot of you have money, okay? Great. Money doesn't buy your way into heaven. You came into this world with nothing. You're going to go out with nothing. Let me tell you, you're not any better than anybody else. I'll say this. There's a janitor. I'm just going to say this. He or she's working in a building right now, not realizing that their taxes are going to be raised. Eventually, it's going to happen. Guess what? That person out there I'm talking about right now, these janitors and many other people, they're more important than you. You work for them. That's exactly what goes on here, and this is a fact. All right, so the other thing I really want to talk about, I do want to talk about a couple things. First of all, I went to a restaurant tonight. I went to another restaurant. I had to go to multiple restaurants tonight because guess what? We're all seeing it across the country tonight, right now. People out there are begging people to come out there and work right now. They're actually in restaurants. They're having to shut down early. I went up to a Jersey Mike's place tonight, Jersey Mike's Subs. We know what that is. Look, I went there and it was probably around 7, maybe 8 o'clock. It was right around 8. They had a sign on the door. The sign said that we are closed because we don't have enough staff. I went to another restaurant. Same thing. It's not just going on with restaurants. Let's talk about the chip shortage going on throughout the country right now. Car dealerships are taking a big hit with this right now. This is going to go on for a while. Also, computers, phones, a lot of things are going to go on with this, and it's going to go on for a while. Why isn't Joe Biden out there handling this? Why isn't he talking about this? Why isn't he talking about people getting out there and getting back to work? Why is there money being why is there being money handed out there right now to people that aren't working? Let me tell you something, Joe. We know why, because you're trying to buy votes. Look, the evidence is right there. Right there in California right now, you're handing out money to people in California right now. You know why you're doing that? Because you want that governor out there to stay in power. Guess what? Harris was out there yesterday. What was she doing? She was pitching for the governor out there in California. You already lost the one in New York. We know what kind of governor he was. Guess what? We know what kind of governor this guy is too. We do. The American people are not stupid. And I'm telling you, we see through all this. Trust me. There's some that don't because they don't do their own research. I say do your own research, study it. Don't listen to the Cartoon News Network. I'll say it. Don't listen to just Fox. I'm not a fan of everything on Fox. I am going to play a segment from them. But there's radicals on both sides of the news, and they don't report everything. I'm going to tell you. Do your research, read, study, listen to what's going on out there. First of all, this guy in California right now, let's look at what's going on out there. Homeless like crazy. Drugs all over the place. All kinds of stuff going on out there right now. Crimes everywhere right now in those cities like New York, Chicago, out in California. Look, these are run by Democrats. I'll say it. The crime rates are up. Joe, why aren't you doing anything about that? All you're focused on is basically bullying people. I'm telling you, Joe, you're not a bully. You don't scare us. Trust me. And let me tell you, all you guys out there, Jim Jordan, Ted Cruz, Tom Cotton, and many others, a variety of you that I've already mentioned earlier, we do support you. We feel like you want to drive and do it, but you need to do it. Actions speak louder than words. So please do this. And we'd like to hear what you're doing. Remember, When you go through the courts and all, it takes time. This cannot wait. There's got to be something, like I said, mention it to the colleagues that you work with. Try to get them to really listen and focus on what the right and wrong is here. Okay, guys, so I'm going to play a segment. We're going to talk about this. This is actually coming up on one of the news channels tonight. And yes, I know it's one of the news channels, but I want you to hear what's going on for real out here. And this is real. This is what's going on. So we're going to play this right now.
Some Republicans are threatening legal action against President Biden's new vaccine mandates. The president seems unconcerned about that or the complaints that he's infringing on people's rights by what he's rolling out. White House correspondent Peter Doocy shows us about that tonight from the North Lawn. Good evening, Peter.
Good evening, Brett. We have new reason to believe the fight the president wants isn't over Afghanistan or over economic policy. It is over mandating COVID-19 vaccines, because this is what he said today when asked about these Republicans that are resisting new regulations.
Have at it.
Have at it, Joe says. What does that show you guys? What does this guy think he is? Does he think he has more power than anybody on this planet? This guy's trying to play God. Joe, you're not God. You're just a little tiny man. That's exactly what you are. You're a tiny, tiny little man who's not doing his job. And Americans see this, Joe. So we're frustrated with you. Let's go on with the segment.
The pandemic wasn't about politics.
Folks, this isn't about politics.
Liar.
The virus doesn't care if you're a Democrat or Republican.
This month, it is.
I am so disappointed that particularly some Republican governors have been so cavalier with the health of these kids.
Now come the lawsuits as Republicans challenge new regulations that require a vaccine or a fine for millions of workers and students.
We will take action. My legal team is already working, and we will defend and protect our people from this unlawful mandate.
The president is trying to get shots in arms by calling people out.
The distinct minority of Americans, supported by a distinct minority of elected officials, are keeping us from turning the corner.
Republicans say, wrong approach.
By scolding and condescending to Americans, dripping with scorn that somehow this is their fault that they've been infected with a virus, they're not going to persuade people to get more vaccines.
The origins of COVID remain unknown. When the intel community couldn't crack the case, the president said, quote, critical information about the origins of this pandemic exists in the People's Republic of China. But it's unclear if it came up on a 90-minute phone call with President Xi last night.
Did he press him like he said he was going to?
Well, I'm not going to go into a list of every topic discussed.
Listen to this.
The president's bigger focus here at home. And it turns out there is a big loophole in the president's 6-point plan.
Why is it that you're trying to require anybody with a job or anybody who goes to school to get the COVID-19 vaccine, but you are not requiring that of migrants that continue walking across the southern border into the country?
Well, look, our objective is to get as many people vaccinated across the country as humanly possible.
But it's a requirement for people at a business with more than 100 people. It is not a requirement for migrants at the southern border. Why?
That's correct.
That's correct. She just admitted it. She just admitted it. Why is that the case? She just admitted it. She just admitted it. People are coming across the border as well. Open borders, guys. That's the first truth she's actually told. So, where I want to go with this, too, is the reason why they want these people to come across the border is because they want the votes. That's what they want to do. They want to put these guys, move them around, and have them go in different states and stuff, and they want the votes. They are only care about being in power. That's dangerous. That's very dangerous. That's radical. Guys, I'm not going to play any more of the segment. It could go on for another few minutes, and I don't want to put you through that torture of listening to those guys out there right now. It's very sad what's going on in the country right now, and we need to do something about it. We definitely need to do something about this. We've only got a year left before we can get the Senate and the House. We can start voting these guys out. Let's get them voted out as fast as possible, and God only knows if the votes are going to be, if they're going to go ahead and it's a corrupt system. I'm not happy with the system. A lot of people are not right now, especially after what we saw when Joe ran. I'm telling you, it's a sad situation, and I'm not comfortable with it. But that being said, right now we need to focus on the right thing, and the people that can do it right now are the people that I mentioned with Jim Jordan, Marjorie Taylor, a lot of these people, and they're trying. I think they have the heart, but you got to try harder. You really got to do it, because talk is cheap. Action is what we want to see. We want to see action. So please, guys, go to my webpage. I'm going to go ahead and give you my webpage. It's www.just_commonsense.com. Again, www.just_commonsense.com. That's all it is. It's about common sense. Scroll to the bottom. Check out my YouTube videos. Subscribe and share. Go to my email. That's really where I want you to go. I want you to go there, and I want you to go ahead and give me some ideas. Give me feedback. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think that's right and wrong. I'm not a perfect person myself. I make mistakes. I'm human. But what's going on here is beyond human, in my opinion. It's evil. It's evil. It's plain evil what's going on there. And it's against the Constitution of this country. It really is. It's against the Constitution of this country, and we need to stand up and do the right thing. So again, let's get these guys voted out. Let's keep on these congressmen and women. Please go to their Twitter page and just obliterate their Twitter page and their Facebook and everything you can. Phone calls, everything you can to keep going at them in a nice way. Respect them, because, again, we need them. And I think they've got the heart to do it. But go after the other ones that we're talking about, like Liz Cheney and a variety of them. Say, look, you need to do your job and actually go with the Constitution. Go with the American people, what they really want. Again, do the right thing, guys. So, tomorrow's a big day. It's 9/11 tomorrow. A lot of you people know what that is. I'm sure some of you young children, I don't want to go too young with them, so I'm sure some of them early, 10 years old and stuff, 11, 12, 13, whatever the case may be, may not know. And again, history should be taught on that. I'm hoping the names get read tomorrow. They've done it every time, but I've heard a rumor that it's not, but I don't know. We'll see. So I hope they read the names tomorrow. Unfortunately, the sad thing that is attached to this is Joe Biden's failure in Afghanistan. His purpose to get everybody out of Afghanistan originally and in the war was to say, look what I did. Me. Joe, you failed. Americans were left behind. People died. That comes back on the current president of the United States, not Donald Trump. It comes back on you. You're in that chair. You're the one responsible for what's happening over there. You put the Taliban back in power is what you did, Joe. Let me tell you, 20 years ago, lost a lot of lives and a lot of soldiers and arms and limbs and stuff, and you just took all that away like it was washed right out. It was erased. We're not going to forget, Joe. This country will not forget. You're going to be marked as the worst president in history. How do you like that, Joe? That's your legacy in life. That's going to be his administration's legacy in life. Look, it's a very sad thing that we have to talk like this. We should be all excited. We should be thinking about 9/11. We should be sad from what happened. But we came together, and I saw it. I was there. When 9/11 happened, I saw all Americans for the first time in my entire life come together, and it brought tears to my eyes to see what happened up there. But it also made my heart feel good that we came together. Politics were off of the table for a little while. They really were. I actually remember hearing a neighbor, and I didn't know the neighbor, but I heard it down the street from where I lived, and they were playing the national anthem. The national anthem. Think about what's going on with that nowadays. We'll go into that another time with the kneeling and the football and all that. That's a whole nother story, as we know. But I do want to thank you guys out there, and please go check things out that I mentioned. Check out my website, but the main thing is definitely go to your congressmen and women. Push this like this has never been pushed before, because it's time for Americans to stand up, fight back the right way. Protest. If you plan to protest, that's great. Peacefully protest. So keep that in mind. Peacefully protest, that's great. But again, I'm going to say it. It's a sad thing that we've got Afghanistan tied now to 9/11 because the failures of Joe Biden, because now they're back in power. We got a guy over there that's actually in the Taliban right now, and guess what? He's got a bounty on his head for $10 million. What's Joe doing? He's negotiating with this guy. How do you negotiate with a terrorist, Joe? Sad. You don't. First thing you should have done in Afghanistan, first of all, and I'm going to say it, you should have got the Americans out. You should have kept your promises to the Afghan people over there. You should have definitely pulled the ones out that we gave promises to. Then the military comes out last. However, we should have kept a base there. Should have strategically kept a base there at one of the airports. The reason why is, let's think about this. First of all, you wouldn't have had the Afghan soldiers take off and leave all that equipment there. Another failure of Joe Biden. Billions of dollars of equipment that they have now. It changed power in the region because of him. That's another thing we got to think about, guys. And I just remember, guys, I talk from the hip. I really don't have any scripts, nothing in front of me. I don't want scripts in front of me. I don't want a teleprompter in front of me. I want to speak from my heart. I want to speak on what Americans believe in this country, what Americans want. So, again, definitely keep 9/11 in your hearts tomorrow. Pray. Because I'm a big fan of praying right now. I've always have been. I had a lot of things happen to me in the last 2 years, which really, really, really made me closer to God. Really did. So again, I just want you guys to keep this in mind. Keep our soldiers in your hearts tomorrow, today, every day. Especially what's going on right now, because a lot of them aren't happy with what's going on in D.C. and with their commander-in-chief. Yeah. I've spoken to some. They can't speak otherwise. We know that. Let's talk about our law enforcement, guys. You guys are doing a great job. You're putting your life on the line every day, just like the military is. Again, thank you for everything you guys do. We keep you in our hearts and our prayers constantly. Our first responders, again, thank you for everything you do right now, especially with what's going on out there. I do want to talk about something with our first responders too. Right now, I know some of them right now are going to be leaving their jobs because they don't want the vaccine. That's your choice. I am not against the vaccine. I will say that. But it is a choice of if you want the vaccine or not. It is your choice. Joe, that's another thing. You've already threatened many of Americans with this vaccine. Do you know how many people are not going to get it and just quit their jobs and all? Do you want to talk about making a lot more people, or I should say having a lot more people unemployed? That goes on Joe's record too. That's another one. I don't know where his polls are going to go. Are they going to go for the right now? The last I saw, they were in the last night they were in 39%. Where are they going to go now? I don't know. 0? I don't know. I've never seen anything like this. I also do want to thank our truck drivers right now, what you guys are going through. We know you guys are having a shortage on truck drivers right now and getting stuff delivered. it's almost impossible to get things at places because, there's a lot of things running out right now, and Joe's not talking about that. He's not doing his job and focusing on that, the chip shortage and everything else we talked about. I went to a restaurant the other day, and I'm telling you, they are a restaurant that has all kinds of sandwiches and everything else. Look, I could only get chicken sandwich with no lettuce. That's all they had. It's pretty sad. Joe's not focusing on this stuff. The left's not focusing on the right things. Look, I do want to thank also, I mentioned our, I also want to mention to our people out there, our farmers. We know you guys are going through a lot right now. We just had a major storm go through, and I'm sure it did a lot of crop damage and everything else out there. Again, let's focus on them. Let's keep them in our prayers. Thank you for everything you guys do. And for those of you who are actually working, collecting a paycheck, thank you. For those of you who are collecting this so-known free money that Joe keeps handing out, especially in California right now because he's trying to push to keep that governor in office. So he's trying to buy votes. That's what they're doing. That's what this is about, guys. Again, just want to keep you in mind. Thank you for doing that. And a lot of us are seeing that. We're tired of going to restaurants in certain places, finding out they're closed because no staff. It's putting businesses out of business. It's sad. But anyway, keep up with me out there on my YouTube channel. Keep up with me out there on my podcast, my Twitter account, Facebook. Look, I'm also on TikTok. I just started that up. That's been going crazy. Interesting. My podcasts are going really crazy. My YouTube channel, not so much. I have a few subscribers. Podcast, I think people listen to that like crazy, so it's awesome. Thanks for listening, guys. And as always, God bless you. God bless America. And I'll talk to you in a day or two. And definitely send me emails because I do read those, and I want to get out there to you and definitely talk to you and help out. That's all I'm here for, and that's my job as soon as I get put in office, and that's what I'm hoping to do so I can work for you. God bless you. God bless America, and have a good evening. Thank you for listening. And God bless everyone out there, including these people that I talked about. So my prayers are with everybody. Thank you and have a great night.